So these are some of those issues that remain desperate to me, in my view, because we don't address them promptly, both by the opposition, by the government, but more importantly by the system of governance, the public service, the statutory organizations, all the other systems of governance at the district level and provincial level. What I find is that we will find a country in not many years in the future facing far difficult problems that we'll find it very hard to govern, very hard to look after and manage as an economy, but more importantly as a people. And I call on our leaders to focus on these issues now. And I speak as a senior leader of this country with this background information as to giving me the experience to say a few things I'll be saying here. And I hope that the people of this country, and in particular colleague members of parliament, leaders of this country, do take note of the points that I will raise. Desperate issues of Papua New Guinea remain desperate, and those desperate issues must be addressed. There isn't any other issue at hand in the face of leadership today. And leadership in the present time as well as in the future, these following issues that affect our people remain very profoundly prominent, that cannot escape the attention of leadership. Therefore, leadership has the duty to only focus on these areas at the present time, to finding a solution to removing the sufferings that people of Papua New Guinea are going through. The first is the continued chronic challenge we face in the areas that we find in the education sector, in the higher education sector, where there is no textbooks, continues to be a chronic problem. Where there is no quality skill development, continues to be a chronic challenges that exist. Where human development continues to be a desperate issue in Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea jobs are taken by others, people in the global community, because we have no skilled people. That is a desperate issue. That deficiency has become a chronic challenge and yet has been overlooked. And that issue must continue to remain an issue that must be addressed by every leadership. Second issue is the free-falling, declining value of the kina. The kina is falling very fast. In the next medium term, you'll have found it fallen down to 20% to 30%, as we hear the experts have told us. And that means that it's affecting business. We cannot trade. Kina cannot trade competitively against other currencies in the world. It is affecting business, life. This is a chronic issue that stands glaringly in front of the face of leadership. There isn't any other issue. That issue must be addressed. Number three issue is the inflationary pressure I see brought about on the population. People can't pay the power bills. People can't pay other necessary means of survival. Mothers are struggling. Children are going to school without quality food because the prices have risen, and I'm talking from my own family. I have children who go to school, and the cost of food to put them eggs is risen. If it affects me, I who own over 17,000 kina as a member of parliament, we have served 5 terms. My daughter works at a hotel in Papua New Guinea who earns 380 kina in a fortnight. So compare my daughter and me, how can she survive? She can't survive, so I buy her the food using my money. The other that I must also highlight is the shortage of the fuel at the airports and seaports and at the fuel depots. That's a newly created a challenge. It's a predicament Papua New Guinea is living in. We can't accept this. It is a chronic issue. We must address that. There must be a solution found to addressing this issue promptly, immediately now, by all actors of the state, not just politically, but also financially. All the other institutions, private sector as well as the government institutions. Only state the rising deaths caused by law and order breakdown in the country. Papua New Guinea is not at war. We are not a country that is a drug country like we have seen in some parts of the world, like South America. We are not a war-torn country like we see in the Middle East, and we experience this kind of crime as an aftermath of a violence. But the crime in PNC is high and is still rising. It's not fair that we see people killed and people murdered, and we just take it as a normal thing, and we normalize it within our systems and continue to live as if those issues are not there. We must address that.